Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about book number 5, The Secret of Shadow Ranch. This, I finally been itching to read this after, finding out that the original text is quite different from the revised text. I will say, I do like the Dirk Valentine and Francis Hubbard's storyline that you get in the revised text. And I do like some of the characters they also have in the revised text. Not that, I didn't like all of them. I just, obviously nostalgic reasons, I did grow up with the revised text, and so the revised text I'm more familiar with, and, well, actually, technically, to be honest, they're more interesting, to say the least. But this story, like the reasoning behind the father's disappearance, it doesn't quite make as much sense as in the revised text. It was just a little way, basically expecting me to be, oh gosh, what's that word now? I just had it, I'm sorry. Suspend, there we go. To really, really suspend my belief. It's like that, I mean, I guess it could make sense, but at the same time, it just doesn't. So, this wasn't a bad story, and I really like some of the plot points, you get to know more about the characters and their personalities. You understand that George and Nancy are really quite fearless, and Baz is, scaredy cat central. Almost as scared as, Shaggy and Scooby. So, but yeah, there's obviously some differences, based on that time. But in comparing the two stories and the characters, I think I prefer the revised text more. Just, like I said, mainly because I find the characters more compelling, and the story behind it seems a little bit more interesting. I mean, I haven't read it in a while, and I need to reread it. I just finished reading this one. Like I said, it just came in, so I'm just like speed reading through this one so I could review it and have it this video uploaded before the end of the month, which is coming up soon. I can't believe it. But yeah, so I'll have to reread that, and just, I mean, there's obviously going to be some issues with it, and there's some books, that are always going to have issues with it, but some are more obvious than others, and some have way more problems than others. And I found a few of those. They're just like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't like this. But yes, so I'll have to reread that to give you like a better informed opinion of these two, because, like I said, it's been a while since I've read the revised text. But based on what I do remember, because I did read it some time ago. It has not been within the last year, but I think it's been, maybe 5 years or so. Because I did, like I said, I was rereading it. There's the game. There is a game based on the revised text, and, I wanted to read that. So, I did pretty much just skim read, I think. So some of the plot points are just like, oh yeah, that's still fresh in my mind. And plus, of course, playing the game, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that was in this game as well as the book. And so, you kind of remember that stuff. So based on that, and based on what I remember, I think I do prefer the revised text just a little, well, a lot more right now. If I reread it again, I might say, maybe it might be a little bit more, but I think it's just because the whole Dirk Valentine thing, the whole outlaw, it seems like there's a whole, gun. Why do I say gun? Um, there's, the whole outlaw story and the whole gold, finding the treasure, the lost, the outlaw's gold. You know, they're like, land pirates, cowboy pirates, I guess you can say. Um, so, yeah, I don't know what else I can say. Like I said, there's some plot points in this book. Like I said, the reason for the father's disappearance doesn't make sense. The whole story with the little girl was interesting. I don't, not sure if they've done it in another book. I know, because I'm also reading the Hardy Boys at the same time, the original text of the Hardy Boys. And like at The Secret of the Old Mill, some of that got changed around because it's kind of similar to another book that has almost the same plot points. So I was like, yeah, they needed to be changed. So, yeah, it's, trying to think about some of this, because I have not read all the books. So, yeah. I don't know why they took it out. I mean, it could still have been an interesting story, but I will admit I do think the Dirk Valentine and Francis Hubbard storyline was a lot better. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give all the points to the revised text in this instance, just because I think, not that this wasn't the original book, or the original text wasn't interesting. Like I said, it's got some pretty intense moments, but in comparison to the revised, I think the revised storyline works a little better. Again, each of them's gonna have the problems, but I think the revised does better. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the matter. I apologize if you keep hearing thumps. I'm just fiddling around with the book. Just keeping it here just so I can bring it up so you can see it. Because yeah, this is the original. I kind of like this cover a little bit better, even though I do like the idea of there's a phantom horse. So yeah. Like I said, it's the whole Western thing is the romance, I guess you can say, that at least the revised has kind of grabs me a little bit more than this one, but it's not a bad book. If you're interested in just reading it and finding out a little bit more, just to see, because if you don't like the revised text, you might like this one a little bit better. But then again, that all depends on your reasons for not liking the revised text. So, you could still not like it if you don't like Westerns. This is still a Western. But I enjoyed it for the most part. I do think the revised is better. So I'm gonna give this, I'd say 7 out of 10. If I'm gonna just, go with an out of 10 average. And then I give 9 out of 10 to the revised. And a lot of it's nostalgic, and because it's a Western, and I like Westerns. So a little bias there for me. For the most part. There are probably some Westerns I probably wouldn't like. But yeah. Anyways. So, thanks for coming to that rambling of a review. I know I repeated a few things in there, it's like I don't know what else to say without giving away the whole story. Because I do try to keep these as spoiler free as possible. But, so yeah, thanks for coming by, for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye.